Who the hell are these guys talking about all of these different sports technology devices? How do they possibly have the time to work out enough to test all of these devices? Worst of all, they seem to do a fantastic job talking about all of these topics, going super in depth about a product, a tool, a technology, or some sort of training technique. But the topic I never really hear them talk about is themselves. Today, I'm starting a series of videos where I ask 7 questions to my favorite sports technology creators on this YouTube platform. And I wanted to start off simple. These guys they've all traveled around the world doing what they do. So I figured it would be super interesting to know what their favorite place to race or ride their bikes or just even go for a run. And here's what they said.
All right, so your first question is favorite place to run, race, or ride? I'm gonna have to go with the White Mountains of New Hampshire. I know that's kind of just my area. I don't travel too much, so I don't know a whole lot of the rest of the world. So in my area, I really enjoy the White Mountains of New Hampshire, and even the trails in Massachusetts have something special about them. They've got that New England vibe. So trail running, hiking, ice climbing, rock climbing, all of that I love to do in the White Mountains of New Hampshire.
Favorite place to race or favorite place to ride and run? That's tricky. I think the race side is tough because I don't tend to do the same races over and over for the most part, unless like little local races. But I think like for me, Boston Marathon is still the favorite race overall. Like I've done Ironmans and stuff like that, and that was cool. But the energy level at the Boston Marathon is just so epically high, especially if you're having a good day. Like I guess if you're having a rough day, Boston's different, but I had a blast when I ran Boston. It was just like a fun day, and we still ran fast, but it wasn't like out to die fast. So it was still a lot of fun, me and another friend. In terms of like favorite place to run or ride, I think for me, probably Mallorca. It's a small Spanish island in the Mediterranean off the coast of Spain, and I guess it's just great because one, it's super cheap to get to. There are tons and tons and tons of triathlon and cycling camps that are held there pretty much like from spring onwards. You can go there and not spend much money and just stay at places that are really designed for like swim, bike, runs. So, lap pools and going across the street and swimming at the beach and open water swimming. And then running is awesome and cycling is epic there. There's, tons of super well-known routes there that are kind of like famed worldwide. And so I enjoy that. That's like one of my favorite places to escape to, especially in the fall and the spring when it's a little bit cooler here, but a little bit warmer there still.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Kofuzi here. And first off, I just want to say thanks, Matt, for including me to be a part of this video project and in this group. One of the things that I emphasize on my channel is inclusiveness and making sure we're including as many people as possible. And I gotta say that one of the people that made me feel the most welcome and the most included as I started training for my first triathlon earlier this year was Matt. So I definitely appreciate that. And with that being said, what is my favorite place to run or ride? And I'd say the answer for both of those is the same. It's the lakefront along Chicago. I am so very lucky to be able to run along the lakefront just about every day here in Chicago. And it is absolutely beautiful. It's got water, it's got nature, it's got city, all in the same spot. And I just love being right on that edge between nature and the city. So it's my favorite place to run and to ride.
Matt, thanks for having me on. My favorite place to race. We used to have a 70.3 and a full distance triathlon run by Rev3 at Sierra Point Amusement Park right on Lake Erie, which is, by the way, ranked one of the top amusement parks in the country. So if you're a fan of roller coasters, you got to check out Sierra Point. But I loved racing there. I did not have to travel for that one and had some fun and good local competition. As for riding and running, I love running in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. It's an absolutely stunning place. Lucky to have it in my backyard. And for riding, indoors on my SmartBikeTrainers. Are there any other options?
Hey, what's up, Matt? Thanks for having me involved in this video and morning motivators. To start off, my favorite place to race, hands down, Challenge Roth. If you have ever being a part of Challenge Roth, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you definitely should. Hundreds of thousands of followers along the race course cheering you on. I wasn't crying, they were all crying.
Favorite place to race or favorite place to ride or run? Well, I've ridden all over the world, and I've got to say, there's nothing like home. I'm still discovering new roads and new trails, so my answer for this one is going to be right here, my own backyard.
What's up, Matt? Thank you so much for including me with all of these other great sports and tech YouTubers. Your first question, what was my favorite place to run or race, was honestly a very hard one to come up with one single location that was my favorite. But as I was thinking about it, I kept coming back to this one run I did in 2018. It was actually a few days before the Leadville 100 out in Colorado. A group of friends and I summited Mount Massive, and it was about a 14-mile run. Did about 4,500 feet of elevation gain and just over like 4 hours or so. A lot of running and hiking. It was my first 14er. I mean, once you got over some of the like altitude kind of like problems that some of us were having coming from Indiana, it was just amazing being able to see so much and just like feeling like you're on top of the world up there. And then running down was an absolute blast as well. Not to say that the whole thing wasn't really hard, but that's part of the fun of some of these things, is doing these really tough runs or climbing up a mountain, something like that. I've done a lot of different runs and races in the past, but I keep coming back to that one as being my favorite. So that's it, summiting Mount Massive.
How's it going, everyone? On Matt's channel, I'm Des with DesFit. Matt, thank you so much for including me on these videos of yours. So one of my favorite trails I like to ride is a downhill mountain biking trail at the Trestle Bike Park in Winter Park, Colorado. So the name of the trail, no joke, it's actually called Rainmaker, not making this up, but basically it's a purpose-built downhill trail that goes from the top of Winter Park Resort all the way down to the bottom and basically has jumps the entire way. Trestle Bike Park, as well as the entire Winter Park area, has tons of great mountain bike trails to choose from, but this is probably the one I kind of gravitate to all the time, and I could just ride this thing all day long. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite trails. It's called Rainmaker, and I guess with that sort of name, we should maybe ask what this guy thinks about it.
This trail here?
That one.
No, absolutely no. It's ridiculous.
Well, you heard it there first. Anyways, thanks, Matt, for including me on these fun little videos of yours, and we'll see you in the next video.
Okay, Des, I might have to agree with Ray on this one. I might have to change my pants after watching you descend down that trail. I can't wait to see how these guys are gonna answer some of the more difficult questions that I have planned for them. I have 6 more questions, and I'm gonna go and try to post these every Friday for the next few weeks. In next week's video, I'm gonna ask them, what their favorite watch is if they could choose only one, which for any normal person would seem like a super easy question, right? Not these guys, not for this group. Okay, if for some odd reason you are not subscribed to one of these guys, please hop over to their channel and do so. These guys are absolutely fantastic. They're definitely worth a follow. They're definitely doing me a huge favor by coming on my channel and just lending their, extremely valuable time to this project. And I really do appreciate every single one of these guys. I really can't thank them enough. And lastly, I'll just remind you guys to get out there, swim, bike, run, rinse, and then repeat it all over again. And we will see you guys next Friday.